Thank you, and please have a seat. I'm Chief of Police Daniel Jenks, and I'm here to welcome a new member to our work family, and I'm really excited about it. First off, this historic building sounds like a lot of you are of Norwegian heritage, and you can appreciate how our city erected this building back in 1910. I'd like to thank our distinguished guests for attending, Mayor Tim Swadley, Clerk Candy Christian, my staff, and members of the Police and Fire Commission who did try to make it. We had a couple people that couldn't attend, unfortunately. But today we're going to focus on you, Derek. So if you wouldn't mind, could you come on up here and join me on the stage? So you become the fourth officer that we've sworn in the last year. It's somewhat of a high number for us, and we have grown. So one thing that happened was the city provided us with funding for additional service, additional officers. So we now are at 23 with your joining us. Could you? I see you got quite a few family members with. Could you introduce us?
Yeah, I got my wife and my two kids, Chase and Pierce, and then my mom, my cousin Caleb in the back, my brother, and then my dad on this end, and then aunt and uncles.
Gotcha. Fine. We'll have a seat and we'll bring you back up here in a minute. You're about to join a department that's supported by the community. They've demonstrated their support throughout the years to us through the difficult times, and I just want to acknowledge that. We continue to receive messages from them of support, and I hear it from our staff as they interact as well. The whole hiring process this time with you is different because for the first time since 1987, we're going to send someone to the Recruit Academy, which is a big step. It's somewhat risky. We realize that in the hiring process is very competitive today, and we wanted to select the right person. The last person that the city sent to the academy was in 1987 in January, where Eric Weum started. And he had a successful career as both an officer and a detective. So we wanted to make sure we selected the right person. We began exploring our applicants, and you rose to the top. And I'd like to bring Lieutenant Chad O'Neill up to speak about interactions with you during the early portion of the process.
Well, thanks. I am Lieutenant Chad O'Neill. So I unofficially, I think, recruited Derek. So my daughter has went to the wrong side, and she's going fire and EMS. So she was brought on to Maple Bluff as an intern, and I think it was her first day. We were moving her into the dorm, or seeing all the lazy boys they get to sit in all the time. Showing her around the kitchen and all that fun stuff. And I'd known Derek kind of from his days with our EMS years ago. And I think he mentioned, like, yeah, I'm applying for Sun Prairie PD. And I'm like, well, what are you doing here then? You know, so he explained to me that he hadn't had the academy yet, but Sun Prairie was talking about sending him through. And I thought, well, this is a good recruitment opportunity. So I said, well, you know, we're going to be hiring soon. We weren't hiring actively at the time, but I knew it was on the horizon. So I dropped a bug in his ear and said, hey, just, you know, if things don't work out or you want to pump the brakes in Sun Prairie, we'd love to have you, type of thing. Obviously, there's a process that was involved with that, but that's kind of how it all got started. So fortunately for us, he was still interested in coming back home, I would say. And we try to keep him on the line, like, please don't go to Sun Prairie. Please don't come to Sun Prairie. We didn't say anything too bad, about Sun Prairie, but we did try to keep him interested and on the line for us, and obviously it worked out. So, you know, the interview process is a process, but what we find is something that you can't really measure, and that's a fit. So how does somebody fit with the department? And I think through the interview process and just us conversing casually, he's a good fit. And Chief Jenks and Lieutenant Hill, we all met afterwards, after his interviews, like, this guy's a good fit. Something you can't teach, you can't really rank, but we just kind of know. And, you know, you'll kind of hear the theme of family come up, and we're a small family, basically. And you have to be able to fit in the family. We don't want you to be the black sheep. So I think you're going to do well, and I really see, you know, you continuing to grow here with your new real hero job in law enforcement. So we'll get you used to getting off the chair a little bit and being a little bit more out and about, but it'll come, trust me. So, but all joking aside, you know, we look to really lean on you for your experience, because you have years of that experience in the police and fire side, and we all intertwine through the city anyway. So, like Chief Jenks said, you know, we have a supportive local government for all aspects of public safety, and so you're going to fit right in for all of that. As far as, you know, the family thing goes, we obviously have to say thank you to your wife and to your supporting cast here, because again, it's a different world that we work in. So I know you're already kind of used to long hours and weird hours, but we have some unique stressors that are different from the fire and EMS side. But so, you know, in appreciation of you guys, you know, what's for us to come to continue to support him and us, we thank you for being here today, and then also for being here for him in the years to come for whatever he might encounter. So we'll get into a little bit of what that'll entail here in the future. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Swadley to not harass you probably so much.
Thank you all for being here. Welcome to the Opera House. This is formerly City Hall. A lot of history in this office. My office used to be in here. We moved out a few years ago, and you can see they've done a beautiful job of repurposing the space here. So I'm really just here to welcome you to the team, to the family, as others have said. Thank all the supporting people that are here, as well as the city council to approve the budget that would allow us to continue to hire people, not only in the police department, but in the rest of the departments as the city of Stoughton continues to grow. Police and Fire Commission have been extremely busy the last several years, not only with police, but fire and EMS. So we appreciate the work that they do as well. The officers have been terrific. They're HR's best friend right now. They've really helped bring other people on board, and we do appreciate the efforts of the officers as well as the support that they give to one another. So really, I just want to thank you for being here, welcome you to the family, to the team. It's great to see Desi. I know we've met in the past. It's been a while. You know, and people said, oh, what do you think of Derek? And I'm like, anyone that married Desi can't be too bad of a guy. So we appreciate you both being here today. And if anybody wants to see the Opera House when we're done here, I'm more than happy to take you upstairs and look around a little bit. So enjoy your afternoon.
Thank you, Mayor.
Well, today's ceremony centers around the pinning of a badge. Lieutenant Brandon Hill, please.
Derek. The pinning on of a badge marks the beginning of a new way of life. Whether long or brief, any time spent as a police officer will forever change the person wearing the badge. The wearer of a badge carries an enormous responsibility entrusted to them by the community that they swear to protect and serve. Every police officer must know that by wearing the badge they have committed and sworn to protect and serve their community. A police officer knows that they could, at any time, be called upon to lay down the ultimate sacrifice in the protection of their fellow citizens. Knowing this, each police officer commits themselves to that service. Their role in society forever changes. They forge ahead into danger that others flee from. They brave all to be the keeper of our society and preserve our ways of life. Police officers commit themselves to the principles of fairness and justice. They ensure that others can be free to carry on their lives. We are the sheepdogs that protect the flock. We acknowledge that each day We hope to make life better for others, to keep things from getting worse, to pick up the pieces after tragedies, to save lives, to prevent others from doing harm, and in general, to make a difference. We know, as police officers, we will carry with us for all of our lives the burden of that knowledge. We will carry the first-hand knowledge of the evil that humans can do to each other. We carry these things as part of us, and hopefully, it increases our resolve to do all that we can each day to minimize the effects of that on the others. Derek, with your commitment today, we welcome you into our family. We commit to you that we will provide you with the knowledge and training to the best of our abilities. What you do with that knowledge will be our challenge to you. As you move forward in your career, you'll begin to understand what this commitment means and what it truly means to be a Stoughton police officer. Congratulations, Derek.
Thank you, Lieutenant Hill. Now I'd like to introduce our wonderful city clerk, Candy Christian, who's going to administer the oath of office.
Would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Derek D. Weum,
I, Derek D. Weum,
having been duly appointed
a
a City of Stoughton police officer
City of Stoughton police officer
in and for the state of Wisconsin,
in and for the state of Wisconsin,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution
that I will support and defend the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin.
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin.
I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of a police officer
of a police officer
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Raise your right hand. We have the law enforcement oath. On my honor, I will never
On my honor, I will never
betray my badge, my integrity,
betray my badge, my integrity,
my character, or the public trust.
my character, or the public trust.
I will always have the courage to hold
I will always have the courage to withhold
myself and others
myself and others
accountable for our actions.
accountable for our actions.
I will always uphold the Constitution,
I will always uphold the Constitution,
my community,
my community,
and the agency I serve.
and the agency I serve.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Christian. Bessie,
Yes.
come on up. This is where it gets interesting. The actual pinning of the badge. There it is.
Okay.
So here it is. Just
Okay.
sharpen it right
Okay.
there.
Goes right here.
Yep. Well, you guys want to
You
help?
guys want to help?
Do you want to help? No? Okay.
There we go. You guys want to feel it?
Perfect. All right. That is it for the official ceremony. Thank you so much for joining us. We do have cake and beverages in the lounge area, so please stick around and visit and take the opportunity to take photographs, etc. So thanks again for attending.